Good morning, happy Saturday. Winter has resumed. And I think it looks like it's about to stay for the next couple of weeks, which is disappointing, but it is February, which is officially the most miserable month, so I shouldn't be too surprised. It's also the shortest month, so not too much to be concerned about. I do have to get provisions, so we survive it.
Welcome to another episode of Toby's Stupid Vlog.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Howard. Happy birthday to you.
Walter to help? Yes, can help. Walter, can you help please?
He's
Yay! And one more. And one more. Walter, do you want to help with this one? Yeah. It doesn't really know what to do.
Hello there, happy very cold day. So this morning I was in Regent Street, Lower Regent Street, I think it's now called, Waterloo Place, filming something for Neil, the Heart of London Business Alliance, in a tiny room in Villandry. So it's so tiny it defies words. Anyway, I'm going for a quick walk into Kew. You'll notice there is some snow drifting through the air, but tiny amounts. This happened yesterday as well, yesterday morning, so there is some clouds, but not a lot, and just a tiny amount of moisture in the air. It's forming into these little, they look like little balls of fluff, but it's like giant snowflakes effectively clumped together. So instead of it even snowing, you get these little blobs falling through the sky. Very odd. This lot don't seem very concerned with the whole keep off the grass, don't eat the flowers thing. Troublemakers. No respect. Coming into the indoor jungle. Enjoying the tropical warmth. Massive leaves. And the occasional palm tree. Who needs a holiday when you can just come to the tropics in your front garden? Very nice anyway. There you go. And soon the template house will be open with a nice plaque of its own. As I keep mentioning because I'm very excited. But the sky's almost blue outside. How exciting. I will go out only as soon as I've warmed up to a regular temperature. I realise I haven't actually filmed that much so far this week, which is why we've come in here for a little bit. You can see the mists, tropical mists. Nothing gives me a sort of feeling of spring happiness like seeing the crocuses starting to poke their way through the grass. It never comes out as well on camera as it does to the human eye, where it's kind of a sea of purple, and here it just looks like mostly green with a slight interruption. And it's very satisfying feeling watching spring sort of defy the odds and poke its way through. They seem to be planting a new sort of wood over here. Not quite sure what those are, we'll have a look in a moment. Just wanted to get a close-up of some purple first. Here it is, it's definitely happening. It's definitely purple. Spring is on its way. So let's have a look what they say they are. Prunus Blushing Bride. Prunus, yeah, they've got them all the way down, as you can see. Prunus, is that plum? I feel like it's a fruit tree. It doesn't look like a fruit tree though. Oh, this is Prunus cuckoo. A small tree with strong ascending branches, deep lilac pink flowers, loose dropping. So it's a flowering tree, so this is all going to be for spring presumably. It's 24 hours later. Sorry about the abrupt cut, but the reality is that it got so cold that my phone gave up. It's been doing that a lot lately, and it did it a lot in Prague as well. So here we are in some more green, and you can see there's some more crocuses just appearing at the base of the trees. So this is where I am today, USP's office at the top of that building, putting sound effects onto a little podcasty thing. So I thought I'd come out and sort of marvel at the blue sky. As you can see, the sun is shining through the dirty windows. It's actually not too bad in here today, except for the fact that I need to put that blind down, which involves climbing around the desk, which is a bit annoying. I think I'm nearly done. My eyes hurt, so that either means I need to go to the opticians, which is probably true, or that it's too bright, which is slightly true. So that is today's little project right there. Welcome back to Kew Green. There is Cambridge Cottage, which I always point out when I walk past it, but this time I have a reason. I will be back there in the next few days, and I will tell you why nearer the time. But it's quite exciting, for me at least. I mean, you might find it a little trivial, but I'll be back in there in a week or so. Anyway, I'm going to go into the gardens and do a little loop and see what's what. It is February, which is my least favourite month in the year. But luckily it's also the shortest. But it's because you get a lot of days like this where it's cold, you feel like it might snow. It's not actually quite cold enough today. It's just gloomy, nothing really happens. And aside from the flowers beginning to emerge, there's not a lot to see in the world. But we'll do our best to confound those expectations. Those fruit trees that I saw last week before my camera battery gave up also suddenly, prunus, they all labelled. They are I was right, they are plums. That's part of the same family. It's a family that includes plums and cherries and apricots and lots of flowering blossoms. So that is going to be exciting when they come out in I guess it's almost a few weeks in Kew. Hello. So we haven't had a sort of proper catch-up since well, I don't know, since pretty much the end of January, because you've been seeing me off filming and what have you and all that shenanigans. But in terms of actually, you know, not what I'm seeing but what I'm doing, so I thought I'd have a quick brain dump. Obviously it was the end of the financial year, sorry, not the end of the financial year, the tax return date, 31st of Jan, it's just passed. It's watching freelancers everywhere sort of panic and run around and fill in forms reminded me that I don't ever do my tax return on the 31st of January. I do it almost immediately after the year end, and that's not to be a smart ass, but the logic behind it being is that the sooner you calculate your taxes, the sooner you can pay them, and the closer your taxes will be to what your actual earnings are. And by that I mean your earnings won't have moved on dramatically or have collapsed dramatically, so you should be able to afford the taxes more easily. And yeah, so that's the reason I do it that way. And also there's no benefit in holding onto the money for another year because there's no interest to be made. So what's the point of kidding yourself that you have money that you don't really have? So yeah, so I'll be doing my taxes again at the end of April, beginning of May, like an idiot. All the accountants laugh at me. It's not a joke, they do actually laugh. They're like, you're taking all the fun out of it because, you know, where's the adrenaline rush? I'm like, well, I'd rather not have an adrenaline rush. I'd rather just, you know, pay my taxes and be done with it. My feeling is that you shouldn't be so sort of, you shouldn't fight against the idea of paying tax. It's a positive thing, it's a contribution to society. You should just do it and get on with it and stop sort of, you know, trying to cheat the system. I have issues with, you know, the nature of some sort of modern accounting practices. But there we go. So I've done all that, and I'm, you know, kind of ahead of the curve, I guess, in that sense. So the 31st of Jan just means I have a point that I have to pay a bill. So that's done as well. So now we're into the couple of months where you don't pay as much council tax, which is a relief because I've just paid a huge amount of income tax. Anyhow, enough about taxes because they're not fun. It's just your duty. So we've done that, and now we're going to go for a walk because I need to do a bit more steps. I've been a bit sedentary today, and tomorrow I'm at home. I've been doing a lot of paperwork and those kind of things, but nothing very exciting. And I thought it'd be nicer when I came out, and there is a bit of light, but it's not. It's still a bit cold and grey. So I'm going to do a lap of the gardens, and then I think I'll feel slightly more awake and slightly better about life. I'm now approaching the crocus carpets, which look really good from a distance. Obviously when you get up close you can see there's gaps, but it just looks like you've got purple grass. It's amazing. So they are still not entirely out. I suppose it's a little bit cold. By the time this video's up, they almost certainly will be out. But it's usually end of Feb. It's when they sort of peak, middle end of Feb, and those are all the fruit trees I was talking about, the prunuses that have yet to go in the ground. So that's going to happen very shortly as well. And then spring really will be here. There really is not a lot of people in the gardens at the moment. And part of that's because they're about to close, but I think it's just because the weather's not great and it's midweek as well. Right, well, time slightly got away from me. It's technically 5 past closing, so I better make good haste to line gate and get out of here before I'm locked in or buried under a tree. Happy Friday. Just quickly, let's do the word of the week because I've discovered something and it's covered by this topic. So I'm about to start cooking a chicken cacciatore, which is an Italian dish. It literally means hunter's chicken. And I've been spending a lot of time looking at chicken recipes. So I figured, why don't we make this week's word of the week chicken? So, first of all, in German. Now, this is where it's odd. In German, there is a few words for chicken, and it rather depends on what's happening to the chicken. So, if the chicken is running around outside and is a happy, free animal, and you're referring to it as an animal, then you would say das Huhn. And that means a chicken that you might meet in a farm. If you're talking about chicken that you eat, so a processed piece of chicken effectively, or chicken breast, chicken thighs, or something you find in a supermarket, you would call it das Hähnchen. That's quite odd to me. So there is 2 words for chicken in German. There's actually another one. There's, as well as das Huhn, there's das Hahn, I think, as well. But let's stick with the ones I mentioned. So das Huhn for a living chicken and das Hähnchen for an edible chicken. Now, in Italian it's much simpler. In Italian, the word for chicken is il pollo. So, il pollo is chicken in Italian, and I now need to go and buy some pollo for me, pollo cacciatore. I'm back in queue just for my daily walk, inspecting the crocuses and the potential daffodils. Looking good. Just come in line gate. Problem is at the moment that the best weather's in the afternoon, but today's queue closes at 4:15. It's the last day that it closes that early. It does mean that you kind of can't really get the best weather in the gardens. But anyway, we'll do what we can. We're going to go a little loop through the gardens, across the bridge and back. I'm going straight through the middle today, straight down Holly Walk, a road that used to be called Love Lane because of the prevalence of prostitutes to a couple hundred years ago. For more information, you can see my Q Facts videos at qfacts.co.uk. I haven't plugged that in a long time, just because I haven't added anything to it for a long time. But there's interesting things about Q on there, should you be that way inclined. Just coming past the cottage before kicking out time. Nice to see it now that the sun's actually here. Now I'm gonna make my way to the gate. I'm nearly done with my walk. It's turned into a beautiful evening. The sky looks magical. I just have to cross over that bridge and come back past the rowing club, and then I'm basically there. And then we'll sign off with a... I'll let you see the chicken cacciatore. I think that's only fair, seeing as the word of the week was chicken. And we'll call it a day. So the only thing that remains is for me to say thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll subscribe so that you get to see more of this nonsense next week. Not quite sure what's on next week at the moment. I think our weekend's pretty free. Crystal's got a spa day. And then during the week I'm going to catch up with Vino finally. Oh, and it's Valentine's Day before that as well. So lots of eating opportunities coming up. Alexa, turn on everything. Ah, look, here we go. Now, I meant to say, actually, there's even more food days. There is Pancake Day / Abby's birthday, and then dinner with Vino because it's Vino's birthday, and Valentine's Day. So next week is a lot of eating, but let's have a look at this cacciatore for the time being. Oh, yeah. Looking forward to that. I'll see you later.
Toby Stupid Vlog.